If you want to get comfortable and ride as efficiently as possible, then this video is for you. Why? Well, because there's all kinds of products out there that cost a fortune, promise the world, and then simply don't deliver. To help you and us get to the bottom of which products do actually deliver on their promises, we got in touch with a professional bike fitter to see what gets results most often and any products or brands that he's recommending on the regular. Before we get into it, we should say that Luke is not on commission for any of the products or brands mentioned in this video. And if your favorite brand doesn't make the cut, then it doesn't mean it's not good. These are simply 10 products that Luke uses regularly and have helped his clients to get comfortable on the bike. So we thought you might want to hear about them.
Before I dive into these, it's important to note that bike fitting and becoming comfortable is not the application of products. It's not going out and buying XYZ. This shoe works for my mate, this saddle works for my mate. I'm going to buy that and it's going to resolve my saddle. It doesn't work like that. However, these are 10 products that over the many bike fits I've done, I tend to utilize a lot. The foot is the most important area on the bike. If you get your feet happy, working in the correct way, you get it stabilized, you get it connected to the stiff part of the shoe, which is the sole, everything else from there becomes a little bit more simpler. So my first product I'm going to start with is a wider shoe. This model in particular, the Lake, they are very well known for wider forefoot, higher volume, further back cleat location. They've been making the shoe in this way for a very long time. British people's feet are not the same as Italian designers' ideology of that.
Okay.
Here in Wales, especially higher volume feet.
Webbed toes.
Yeah. Almost.
6 toes.
Yeah. What I would say is a good thing to do is when you're trying on a shoe is take the insole out of the shoe, put it on the ground and stand on the insole.
Yeah.
That's going to let your foot spread out and splay. What you don't want to be seeing is lots of overhanging material at the top, because then you're sizing up and you're in the wrong size shoe, and you don't want any of your foot to be overhanging the side. That's a kind of a rough idea. Don't buy a shoe based on marketing budgets. Buy a shoe on what works for your foot. Number 2, it's going to be what goes inside the shoe. Now, biggest bang for buck in cycling, it's not carbon rail saddles, it's not lighter wheels, whatever. Basically, orthotics, insoles. In short, getting your foot to touch the bottom of that shoe easier in a cost-effective way, cheap 30, 40 pound insole that has arch height here. And all we're trying to do is get your foot to touch more of the bottom of the shoe. Your foot is very dense, full of capillaries, full of nerves. As humans, we evolved to walk around barefoot, hunt and gather for food, not wear carbon sole shoes, riding a bicycle. Now, other industries like skiing, you buy a ski boot, it's super rigid. You are unable to leave the shop without having a ski boot fitting. And what they basically do is they make something like this, an orthotic for your foot. Exactly the same in cycling. We're dealing with a stiff carbon sole shoe, but for some reason, the ideology is that this thin bit of foam that comes inside the shoe, we've maybe spent 200-300 quid on it, on the shoe itself, and we'll just leave it inside the shoe. Is what I wish the cycling industry would do, is not supply insoles in a shoe. It's just so you have to go out and buy the correct arch support and that kind of stuff. So their nervous system is relaxed. When your nervous system is relaxed, you're going to stop pointing your toe, potentially you're going to start dropping your heel more. If you start dropping your heel more, you start using more hamstring and less quad. Knee issues disappear, saddle discomforts can disappear, because there is a performance gain away from like symmetry and stability and reduction of discomforts. If you just get more of your foot touching the bottom of that shoe, there is going to be a better delivery of power. It is as simple as that. Number 3, now kind of keeping with the same connection point, we're going to talk a little bit about pedals. Now, this is a Shimano Ultegra SLE pedal. It's basically their 4mm wider pedal axle. Why do I like a wider axle pedal? It's basically, if you think the evolution of humans, we sit at desks now, especially men, we man spread now, which the byproduct of this is I'm noticing really poor mobility in hips. This poor mobility in hips normally means when I have a look at someone's mobility on a physio table, I'm seeing a lot of impinged hips. And in order to keep stability on the saddle, reduction in pressure along the outer side of the foot, improving how the knees are tracking, I'm needing to increase the Q factor. Pair humans becoming wider at the hip and bikes becoming narrower, this is an inevitable thing that we kind of progress towards. Now, Ortega pedals aren't cheap, and the cheaper alternative that I go through hundreds a month is little 2mm washers. You can place two 2mm washers on either side of the pedal to give you a 4mm increase in Q factor or stance. It's not going to be for everyone. Some people do require it narrower, but the majority of people that I'm fitting and what we're trialing and testing is this. So we're going wider. You can also shift the cleat all the way inwards on the bottom of the shoe, which is again going to increase Q factor. And from a physio perspective, you've got to imagine this is your hip and this is the socket. It sits inside the socket like this, and as it progresses upwards to the top of the stroke, it hits its limited range of motion. Two things are either going to happen. The knee's going to flare out to complete the motion, or the body's going to move away from you.
You do see a lot of people riding with their knees out.
Yeah, so knees flaring out, the body moving away, two things we don't want because that's instability on the saddle. Keeping on the topic of hips and inflexibility in hips, and this is an area that I could probably talk 10-15 minutes. It is shorter cranks.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
So all of Jumbo-Visma down to 160s and then Vingegaard on 150s.
Yeah, so an unbranded like 150 or 155. And I would almost say your 160 to 165 is massively common, especially with people that I'm seeing, like people that are suffering discomforts.
Yes.
So I'm dealing with more of 160s and 165s, and I've struggled to find stock. They're so hard to get a hold of because everyone wants them now.
Yeah.
The bike industry is kind of still backwards in the sense they supply like a 56 bike with a 172.5 and a 54 on a 170, or even some still on a 172.5, and I'm here on a 165, potentially trialing a 160. I'm not even that inflexible either, but yeah, a lot of it comes down to stability on the saddle, reducing how much we're moving from side to side. Excessively long cranks or impingement in hips, your body has a tendency to go, right, I'm just going to sacrifice my less dominant hip and open up my dominant one, and you get this like twisting on the saddle, cue knee pain, saddle sores, all that kind of stuff. You may see it when you're following people, twisting or dropping one hip, all that kind of stuff.
That's just you looking at that.
Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's, yeah. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a bar and stem, and in particular, the ability to adjust length, width, angle, all the things that when you come for a bike fit, I want to trial and test and optimize. Integrated cockpits, they look brilliant. I've got one on my bike, but unless you know exactly the measurement you need, because you've been fitted, don't just copy that you've run a 54 Scott foil and you move into a Canyon Air Road and you always run a 54 over 110, so that's not the route to go. Now, I always say this, fit your bike first, then look at purchasing a new bike. Once you've purchased the new bike, then bring it back for the free follow-up fit. It's the most effective, time-effective, cost-effective way of doing it. There isn't just one stem length that's going to work for you. Like you could run kind of plus or minus a centimetre for some people, but the problem with stem length, the edge of that box is very firm in the sense that if you could run maybe 100 and then 110 at a push, if you're on a 120, it's too long. There's no like ifs or buts. There are things we can do to make the bike fit better with like lever adjustment, but the best thing I would do is if you're looking at a first bike, you're not 100% sure, go for something that has a separate bar and stem, go for something that's aluminium bar and stem, because if you need to change it, it's going to be cheaper. Your body will change over time. It's just because you've always ran one thing, it doesn't mean it's always going to be the same. I'm a prime example for this. I used to spend 20 hours a week on my bike. When I bought my bike, 120mm stem, it was absolutely fine. I stand on my feet all day, bike fitting, I get 3 to 6 hours to ride my bike. What do I need to do? I need to go shorter now. because I don't have the flexibility to lower myself into the front of the bike. I do just want it a little bit shorter. It's £800 to replace. Number 6. Now this is not going to be a particular product. It's more talking about what I like on this product. And it's a simple one, a cutout or pressure relief channel on a saddle. Simple thing is, us human beings are not designed to sit on thin bits of foam on our soft tissue without any release of pressure for long periods of time. Pressure relief channels in saddles, 95% of the time, are the way to go. However, old school saddles, and they're still coming stock on bikes, long, thin, kind of domed-like, they allow you to slide around, they allow you to sit off to one side, they allow you to sit in the wrong position quite effectively. It's fine, that's what bike manufacturers want you to do, because you just buy the bike, set it up, jump on it and ride. If you're not in the correct position and you put something with a pressure relief channel on and you're not symmetrical or square, it will feel uncomfortable. A lot of people say, they come into me, they go, I've tried pressure relief channel, I hate it, here's my 10 saddles I bought, I want. Once you set them up correctly, there's probably about 5 or 6 in that bag that work for them well. Saddle shape is a bit of a minefield, but saddle comfort is how you're set up on the bike 90% of the time. The next product we're going to talk about, away from sort of the commercial side of things, this is more like bike fitting specific. It's from a company called Form. They are really thin bits of plastic that go underneath your cleat. And they're basically designed to reduce the effect of a leg length discrepancy in affecting how you're connecting with the bike. Pretty much everyone I see has a discrepancy in leg length, not structurally, it's more often functional related. And these little bits of plastic are really effective at improving someone's symmetry, improving how they're connecting with the bike, improving just overall symmetry on the saddle, but also reducing one-sided discomfort. So often overuse injuries, like you'll often get right knee pain, but left-hand sided hamstring cramp. And that's a telltale sign that you're not symmetrical on the bike. Bikes require a high degree of symmetry. 1-2 mil of difference in leg length can come out to play. When you're turning the pedals 4,000 to 5,000 times an hour, your body is going to go, right, even if one is 3 mil shorter than the other, it's potentially going to elicit off to one side. So another product we're also going to talk about is Midfoot cycling cleat adaptation plates. This is a really neat product. I use these more to get us out of a sticky situation when the shoe is the wrong size or the shoe doesn't give us the chance to set the optimal cleat location. People, going back to the original thing we talked about, wider shoes, some people size up to accommodate a wide foot. I'd always recommend putting them into the correct shoe. It's not always possible. Some people as well, they may be suffering, let's say someone's broken ankle, it's fused, they have really poor mobility in the ankle. I need to almost reduce how much the calf is having to stabilize and control the foot, really getting this cleat further back on the shoe, almost mid-foot. So this product would go under here like this, and it would just allow us to basically shift the cleat. Further back this goes, the more stability that's going to be gained.
People used to put their cleats really far forwards.
You used to put them under the first metatarsal, the ball of your foot. Do not do that. Get your cleats further behind. Generally, there's not many rules of thumb in bike fitting, but this is probably one of them. You're not going to go too far away from, you don't want to go too far wrong away from putting it all the way back on the shoe. But bear in mind that bike fitting is like dealing with a spider's web. If you change one thing, it's going to cause effects elsewhere. So don't think that one thing is going to solve all of your problems. Number 9, I think.
I think so.
Number 9, yeah. This is a grey look cleat. What this denotes is 4 degrees worth of movement, float in the cleat. Shimano do a similar one with the blue. What I find a lot of is cleats wear, pedals wear, you then continue to run a 9 or 10 degree float cleat, and you get a lot of side-to-side movement, a lot of instability in the foot on the pedal, a lot of lateral Q factor adjustment. So even after, you know, on a set of pedals that may be a year old, if someone's using sort of a yellow Shimano cleat, for example, and the pedal is like abnormally worn, potentially on the side they unclip most on, suddenly you start getting this ability to move the foot from side to side. Again, everything we talked about is improving stability in the feet. That is one way to reduce that and cause knee discomforts. Just generally just, yeah, not feel great. One thing I would say, avoid fixed cleats at all costs. They are cheap online because no one wants them. Do not buy them. They are black in the Look ones and they're red in the Shimano ones. Unless you're a track sprinter and you're clipped in for 5-10 seconds to do an effort, do not run them. What you've got to think is if you're not perfectly squaring in the saddle, your feet are going to follow what's happening further up the chain. So you may notice that one of your foot falls inwards, one of them falls outwards. There's a reason for that. Don't put fixed cleats on to solve that issue. All you'll do is be damaging the ligaments in your knees. The final product is not a product actually.
You lied to everyone.
I know. It's usable to everyone out there. It's a piece of software. It's Geometry Geeks. It's a really effective way at understanding roughly how different bikes fit. Now, obviously, this is most usable if you've been for fit, you've come for fit, you know what we need to achieve. But if you're looking at purchasing a new bike, you haven't gone down the bike fitting route first, put your bike you're currently on, assuming you're having no issues, discomforts, one-sided pain, you're happy with it, you want your new bike to fit like this one, put it into Geometry Geeks. To keep it simple, reach and stack are the two numbers that are going to give you an idea of how much longer is the reach and how much taller or lower is the stack height.
And why can't I, if I'm on a 56 centimetre, why can't I just buy a 56 centimetre for my new bike?
I wish it was that simple. Even smalls don't fit the same as smalls, 54s don't fit the same as 54s. And this is an easy way to compare bikes and just make sure the bike you're going towards is not going to be out the box, massively different, and you're going to go, oh, I've just spent lots of money on this bike with an integrated cockpit because I really wanted it and it's now wrong. There's lots of other things I could talk about and I've tried to keep it to 10.
Let us know which, if any of these products have sparked your intrigue in the comments below, as well as any that have changed your cycling for the better. If you want to see more bike fit content, then give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. We'll see you next time.